And here we are with our folks from the Intergenerational Poverty Committee here in Southern Utah, Iron County and Cedar City specifically. Neil Smith is a part of that group. And we've got Peggy Green with us. And let's talk about all the things that are on your minds this morning, folks.
Okay, Peggy arranged a guest that we've been talking about having on for a while.
Not your most brilliant choice, Peggy.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a mic too, Tim.
He expects this from me.
Just wait, though. Wait till you hear the wonderfulness.
So just a little recap on poverty. We have a 20% poverty rate in Iron County, and I suspect that with the current inflationary pressures and everything, that people who are on the edge of that may be sliding into that. But by the time the government tells us it's increasing, we got to deal with what we believe is a situation today. Housing is a big one, and the cost of rents just in the last 12 months just went insane. I just still can't believe when I see what it costs to rent a place in Cedar City today. And I have a grandson who's actually gone through it and fortunately did find a place that he could afford, but you know, it's great. So our guest Peggy brought is Derek Morton. And Derek, tell us, you have a property company. Tell us about the property company and then what you're dealing with today.
So I own Netgain Property Management. We've been in business for 6 years, and we manage just under 500 units here between Iron and Beaver County and a couple in Washington. So we've always tried to do things a little bit different and have done some cool things. But one of the things that we're working on and this is why Peggy wanted to have me on, is we formed a couple partnerships with a couple companies recently. The first of which is a company called Isuzu. It's $1 billion company out of New York that I'd met in San Diego at a conference a little while ago.
Joey Zuzu?
No, no.
You're showing your age.
But they do a couple cool things. The first of which that they do is so we can now have all of our tenants' positive on-time rent payments reported to the credit bureaus.
Which helps your credit score.
Oh yeah, and then if they're late, we're able to kind of pull them out of the program until they get caught up. And everything. So what this does is this takes realistically what most people's biggest payment is, and put it to positive use. So the beautiful thing is we can do a look back for 2 years. So are some of our long-term tenants, and that'll give them a significant boost. Like as they were explaining this to me, I'm like, I know five of my tenants now that depending on what interest rates do, that'll boost their credit up to where they can pay rent, or not pay rent, be able to buy a house. They have been able to pay rent. But the company, like, it's really exciting because the story, it's one of the few times I've ever met with a salesperson. I said, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off, but like, I feel obligated to support you in your cause. So it was founded by two immigrants, one from Africa and one from Indonesia. And they'd come to America, and of course, as immigrants, they had no credit. They're trying to go to school, and so they basically, as happens way too often, they have to pay a higher price and are victimized by loan sharks and everything. And so, like he was talking about when he was going to college and different things, the interest rate that they had to pay on some of the loans were like 400%.
Well, these payday type loan companies, right?
Yeah, and so they had to work through all of that. And so he met at the University of Minnesota, the two founders, and said, like, how do we fix this? So they were figuring it out. And so they focus on the underprivileged in the immigrant community, and to help those people get credit scores. Like, so we have an incident, actually 3 this week like with our tenants, they apply, because let's be honest, the credit score is the gateway to the American economy. And you have to hit certain thresholds, whether it's insurance now, whether it's getting a loan, now it's rent. In order to rent a place, your deposit and everything's contingent upon your credit score. And if you don't have one, then you have to pay more of a credit if you have a bad one. But so much of what people deal with is there's minimal ways for them to build positive credit. So they may have a car loan and maybe a couple credit cards, but then they miss a payment or have a medical issue, and then like everything tanks because they don't have enough to balance it off. And it impacts them. So like we've got some people that have missed one payment, but because they didn't have a whole lot of credit elsewhere, their credit's 540. And our minimum payment to allow, or credit for for a double deposit is 580, 600 for just a regular deposit. And so it's like because of federal fair housing, we can't rent to you.
So,
Wait a minute. That's a federal rule?
So we have to set standards, whatever our requirements are, and we have to stay consistent with those through federal fair housing so it's non-discriminatory. So we're not picking and choosing going, oh, hey, we want you or you.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying the credit score.
No, the credit score is what we set.
Okay.
But we just have to be consistent with those standards.
well, the credit, Equifax and those, they set the credit score.
Yeah, they set the credit score,
So,
but we
so
have
when
our
you
minimum.
access the credit score, if somebody's 540, then they have to pay a double deposit?
540 is below our requirements.
So you can't rent to somebody who's 540 or below,
No.
But
or
if-
580 or below.
580 or below?
So,
Holy cow.
but you look at someone who has minimum credit, that's the impact that it has. And so those are the people that get lost in the shuffle and are having to pay $1,500 a month for a hotel room and different things like that. And so what we can now do is, so say you have someone that's at a 580 with a double deposit. And now they have an extra positive line that can show, hey, here's a positive track record. So they had in the last year, or since they started, I was going to pull this up, but I forgot. They had over like 55,000 new credit scores started with the partnerships that they've had with different management companies across the country. So it gives these people now access to the American economy and be able to benefit. So whether now when they go shop for car insurance, all of a sudden, oh, now my credit score that was 580 is now 620, that makes a huge impact to your lendability on anything for car loans, insurance, it's everything. I'm shocked at how much the credit score dictates everything. And it makes them more attractive. The other cool thing that this company does, because of their background, is they have their own rent relief loan fund that they've had national philanthropic partners basically hey, we're going to throw money at you guys to stop, help prevent homelessness. And so the way this works is if we have a tenant that lets us know, hey, they're not going to be able to pay rent. Currently, we send them to Utah Rent Relief, and that's still going to be the priority till that runs down. And that because free money that you don't have to pay back is better than free money you have to pay back. And then you've got either through Canyon Creek or 5 counties or Care and Share, they have some eviction prevention funds. So that'll be the next step. But if these people don't meet their requirements, then we can then take them and apply for this loan fund. So what it is 0% loans that they have a year to year and a half to pay back.
So what's the name of their company again?
Isusu.
Say that.
Isusu. ESUSU.
ESUSU. Isuzu.
And so we have access to that. The requirement's basically, hey, you just have to be a tenant of ours. So they input and say, okay. And they can apply up to 3 months for their loan. And then it's just spread out over that year at 0%. So if the loan was, or the the rent amount, it was just 1 month, is $1,200. They just pay an additional $100 back each month at 0% interest. So instead, that gives another avenue to stop people from being buried. Because what currently happens too many times is if they can't do it, they go to a payday loan place, paying the extravagant interest,
Slippery slope.
and they have to pay it back, and they're just on this treadmill that they're never able to get off, which is the last thing we want to do to our tenants. So we're really excited about that. The other thing that we're working on, so that helps them once they get in.
So let me ask a
Go ahead.
question, and we're probably getting near the end of the first segment. So if you had a double deposit, if that's what you had to do, when your credit score moves above, can you get the,
No, because it's the requirements for when you moved in.
okay, so you
Yeah.
can't, you
Now,
can't
if
attain a
they-
goal and get some money back.
No, now, like, if they move elsewhere, then, and they meet those requirements, they don't have to do it, and as long as they take care of the property, then this is all paid back.
So how difficult is it to get your deposit back when I move?
We're pretty easy, as long as they don't trash the place. Like, the majority of our tenants get the majority of their tenant back, or
Deposit.
deposit back.
Can I help you out? Do you want?
Yeah, I need all the help I can get. I haven't had enough Mountain Dew yet.
Is there ever enough?
So how do people get a hold of you?
They can call our office at 435-263-0933.
0933. And there's no rental application fee either, is there?
There's a $40 application fee.
$40 application fee, okay. If you want to contact me, it's Neil Smith, 435-327-1073.
You can reach out to Karen, Chair 586-4962, and ask about housing assistance.
All programs available for anyone that has the need. We need to take a break real quickly, and we'll do that. You're listening to our program with the Intergenerational Poverty Committee here on Talk Radio 107.7 and 590 KSUB. We'll pause and be right back.